There's a lot of discussion on today's vlog about education and exams and university and school and all that kind of stuff, and it would be remiss of me in an episode so heavily based on an area that I consider myself a bit of an expert in if I didn't remind you all I wrote a book about it a few years ago. If you are currently studying for any kind of exam, or you have a friend, family member, relative, loved one, whoever it might be, who is studying or about to start studying or about to finish studying, whether it's GCSE, A-level degree or the equivalent in other countries around the world, this book could be relevant to you. It's called The Lazy Student's Revision Guide. I wrote it. It's all about study techniques. It's how I got through all of my exams, always doing really well. It's how I taught my students to overachieve in their exams as well. It's available on Amazon. There's a link down in the description. I think the Kindle version is about £2. The paperback version, this version, is £7, I think, or equivalents everywhere else in the world. It's available worldwide. I wrote it. I'd appreciate it if you checked it out, if it was relevant to you, even if you just buy it as a gift to hand on to someone else. Very proud of it. It's one of the best things I've ever done. On with the actual vlog. Hi folks, and welcome to today's vlog. Today is the day I've been warning you about for the last few days. It is crunch time for Anna's uni work. It's all due in tomorrow. By the time you're watching this vlog, she'll have handed everything in for year 2, and she'll be like 12 hours away from starting her 5-month summer holiday. So don't feel too sorry for her. She's about to get 5 months off from uni work. Yeah, but that's not today. So we're currently sort of hot seating that desk over there. She's putting finishing touches to pieces of work. Then I'm going through spell checking, proofreading, teacher red penning, and then we're swapping back again, and she's making the corrections that I'm suggesting and because I don't understand the work that she's doing. I haven't got a clue about crime, investigation, criminology stuff. So I go through and sort of sense check it and grammar check it and spell check it, and then we go back through the process again. She says, yeah, but now it doesn't mean the same thing because this is a term that's used in blah blah blah. So we're kind of going back and forth. This is going to be our day. It's nearly lunchtime. I did manage to sneak in a quick Football Manager video this morning, but other than that, we're just going to be swapping back and forth with this desk all day. But by the time we're done, by the time this video is finished, by the time we go to bed tonight, she is going to have an epic piece of work, which is basically her dissertation application and planning for next year. And then she can get started on a dissertation during her 5 months off if she really wants to get ahead. Blah, exactly. Lunchtime, time for a break. Goodness me, this is hard going, trying to think like a student slash teacher again for the first time. Realistically, in a long time. I know I always help Anna proofreading our work and stuff, but dissertation proposal is a little bit different. It's such a much bigger piece of work, and goodness me, is my brain a little bit out of practice for these kind of things. But we're getting there, probably about halfway through what we're trying to get done today, and because we're working hard, we're going to eat like students as well. Bag of chips each. Excellent stuff, which means I should probably get those home before they get cold. Of course, Anna's got gravy as well because she's from the north, but I'm going to eat my chips the way chips are supposed to be eaten. Just chips. Another time jump has happened. It's now just before 5 o'clock, as you can see. Andy is home from school, enjoying himself some crisps and some Deal or No Deal board game on his iPad. Yeah. Anna has the printer out. This is a huge sign of progress when the printer is out. We've proofread, checked, corrected. I mean, what time did we start this morning? Like 10:30? And it's now, it's 7 minutes, it's 7 minutes to 5. So we had maybe a 45-minute break for lunch, but other than that, it's just been back and forth between versions of this piece of work all afternoon. It's a 26-page document at the end. It's going to be a proper wedge of paper that it's printed out, which is going to be awesome. Look, we've even got the good old Guide to Harvard referencing on there as well.
Where's the paper?
Which is always a sign that you're nearing the end of an assignment, when you have to remind yourself how to do Harvard referencing. There you go, there's a wedge of paper.
Andy!
But this is the moment of truth. Once this bunch of paper turns into paper with printed ink on, that's pretty much Anna done year 2 at university. She's got to go in and go through the motions for the next 2 days.
I've got another assignment in tomorrow.
Yeah, but it will all be handed in.
No,
Yeah.
it is the other one.
But you're handing everything in tomorrow. Why are you even there on Friday? What are you doing on Friday? Revision. Oh, we've gone all blurry. Because you've got an exam. When's your exam?
2 weeks.
2 weeks until the exam, so she's not quite done. But as far as I'm concerned, she's pretty much done. Anna's just getting stressed out with the printer over here. Meanwhile, Andy, did you have a good day at school?
Yeah.
Did you? What did you do today?
That's leave me alone.
Yeah, I know. Not interested at all, is he? After all the nice things we did to him with him yesterday, doing his game with him, not at all interested in just having a little conversation with you about what you got up to at school. Anna. There you go. Uni is cancelled. Here we go then. The moment of truth. A reference page.
Oh, no, it's...
Why, what's wrong?
Stop it.
Are we out of ink? No!
How do you cancel?
Out of ink. Looks like we're printing at uni tomorrow. You lot all knew before I did that she was never going to be happy with print at uni tomorrow, didn't you? I kind of knew it as I was saying it, but it was confirmed to me very quickly that she's not waiting and printing it at uni tomorrow. I've been sent out on an ink hunt, which, I mean, I think pretty much the only places open at this time of day are Tesco. So they don't have it there. She is printing at uni tomorrow, but in the meantime, ink hunt. You happy now you've got your ink?
Not really, I need it printing, and then I need to chill.
I see. That was the one they had least stock of in there as well. They only had a couple of those though. I know. That's what I thought. They didn't have any XL ones either, so I don't know how many pages you get off a normal £10 cartridge. Probably 23 for your 26-page assignment. Have you got ink on the side of your face?
Oh, because I was checking that thing. Oh, well.
What, with your face?
It was on my finger. Look, my fingers are back.
It looks like someone's penned you in the side of the face.
That's why your dad was probably looking at me weird.
I should think it probably was. Looks like, it does look like you've been drawing on yourself.
No.
For the second time today, did you all spot my deliberate mistake when I picked it up? And I got a colour one. I assume they'd have different code numbers for colour and black. That's ridiculous. Ah! Throwing it at Dave. I'm gonna go back to Tesco and see if they've got. In fact, I'm gonna review the footage. See if there was. See if there was any black ones on there. I know there was only a couple, so we'll see if any of them were black. This is why it's good to record everything. Sometimes people comment about why Anna often looks grumpy. Here's a good insight into it. Just she has to put up with this kind of nonsense from me every day. Definitely black this time. Definitely black. This one's black. Would you like me to open it for you? Why have you given me that one back?
I don't need it.
What, you giving it to me in a grumpy? Here we go then. After much faffing about. Oh, that's just the test page. That's still not your work.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, work. Here it is. We've got actual work coming out now. Actually printed properly in black and everything as well.
Okay, no more.
Now are you happy?
Yes.
All of which brings us through to the end of the day and secret end of the vlog club, because there's a question that always comes up in videos like this one whenever we talk about anything education. I know this has been quite focused, well, very focused around Anna's education and her degree that she's working on and getting her work in, all that kind of thing. But there's a question that always comes up about Andy and education that we've answered in a few live Q&As before, but it still always comes up. So I figured let's answer it in a video, make sure the video's nice and easy and searchable, slap it on the thumbnail, slap it on the title, so when people ask in future, I can just say, yeah, if you search Chapman, will Andy do GCSEs, or words to that effect, whatever I've titled this episode, you can come straight here and find the answer. So I am going to answer that frequently asked question. Now, the quick and easy answer for will Andy do his GCSEs is He might do one day. He certainly won't be doing them now, though. If he was in a mainstream school, which he's not, he's in a specialist school for children with additional learning needs. Not just a school for children with autism, but there are a lot of autistic kids there. But there's also lots of other disabilities present within this school as well. It's basically for anyone who needs any extra educational support. But if he was in a mainstream school, he would be just coming to the end of year 10 now. So this time next year, he'd be sitting all of his GCSE exams. The reality of the situation for Andy is that he's not ready for that yet. He probably maths ability and English ability, if there was a way to grade it without having to sit through a formal exam for it, his maths ability in particular is roughly where it should be for a kid of his age. His reading and writing is not far off either. Speaking and listening a little bit further behind, so English would be more of a challenge. But maths, I'm very confident he could do most of the skills required for GCSE maths. The only problem is sitting at an exam of any kind for Andy is just entirely unrealistic for him at the moment, and it might always be. He might never do GCSEs, and it's something that sometimes certainly younger people who are very much ingrained in that school attitude of GCSEs are the most important thing in the world, you absolutely must have them, blah 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 blah. Yes, GCSEs are very important if what you want to do later in life requires you to have GCSEs, and most jobs do require that, but we're a long way away from thinking in terms of jobs in Andy's future. Our priority for Andy's future is that he's happy and has as much independence as he's able to cope with. So a job is kind of way down on our agenda of things that would be important for Andy. So in that vein, passing GCSEs is also a low priority, and like I say, putting him through the pressure of doing them at the moment, he just wouldn't be able to, he would be physically incapable of sitting an exam. It's not just that it would be uncomfortable for him, that he wouldn't like it, that he'd fail. He wouldn't be able to do it. He would not be able to sit silently in a room for 2 hours focusing on one individual piece of work. At school, the way they get him to do work is they break it down into very, very small chunks, and he'll have maybe 1 or 2 very small tasks and then a reward. And that reward will usually be laptop or iPad, or getting to go and run around outside for a few minutes, or going and having something to eat, or whatever it might be. When I say small chunks, I really do mean small chunks. When he first started going back to school, what was it, a year and a half ago now? Wow, he's been back ages. He's now been back at school almost as long as he was refusing to go for. But when he first started to go back, these little chunks were literally individual things. So it'd be answer 1 question, get a reward. Write 1 word, get a reward. And over time, they've built up his resilience to that kind of stuff so that he can now do bigger and bigger chunks. But even now, the likelihood of him going 15 uninterrupted minutes of work is pretty much 0, and even that he'll be making noises, he'll be moving around while he's doing it. He can't just sit at a desk fully focused silently and work. It's just he's not able to do that at the moment. So because of that, it's impossible for him to access a traditional GCSE exam, and it's not a big deal. We're not bothered, he's not bothered, and we'll kind of just take that aspect of things in our stride. If when he's in his 20s or 30s or however old he might be, if he decides he would like to do it because he either needs it for something else that he wants to do, whether it's a certain college course or certain job that he decides he wants to do in his future, and he needs GCSEs for it, obviously we'll support him through doing them then. He might just decide he wants to do them just to test himself, to see if he can do them. We'll absolutely support him in that as well. Contrary to popular belief, there isn't any kind of age limit on GCSEs. You don't have to do them when you're 16. In fact, GCSE results day last year, we were inundated with confused questions from people who couldn't understand how Lucy was picking up her GCSE results on the same day that Anna was picking up her science GCSE result. It was just the one that she did, but it was one that she didn't pass way back when. As an adult, she went on to resit maths and English through college in her 20s, but science was never something she needed to do. It wasn't something she needed for what she was planning to do next, but as part of the degree that she wanted to do, one of the terms of her being offered a place on her degree is that she also agreed to do GCSE science during her first year. So aged, what would she have been when she started? 31, 32? She went back to college, spent a year doing GCSE science, passed it. You can do GCSEs at any age. And if I had to put money on it, if I had to make a prediction, I would suggest at some point in Andy's life, he probably will do some GCSEs. I don't know which ones. I don't know how many. I don't know when. What I do know is there'll never be any pressure from us for him to go and do them. It will always be something that he decides to do because he has his reasons for wanting to do it, and it won't be now, and it won't be while he's still at school age. I say it won't be. I'm 99% sure he won't have done any GCSEs before he's 19 and leaves school, because I just don't expect him to be at that point. If he proves us all wrong, fantastic. But really, school for him over the next couple of weeks, really, as we move into the summer term, as he makes a transition from year 10 into year 11, school in year 11 for him becomes much more about life skills. He's got four years really now of life skills stuff in school because of the nature of what his school is like. So rather than exam focused maths, English, science, that kind of thing, it's going to be more focused on getting out in the community, learning how to use money, learning how to use shops, how to cross the street safely, how to make his own toast, how to wash his own clothes, all this stuff that obviously we're helping him with anyway. We've never got him to wash his own clothes, but all that other stuff is stuff that he does with us in the home, but it will be doubled down on, extra focused on in school, with the idea being when he leaves school, he could be independent enough to decide to go off to college and do some GCSEs, or decide to go and do an apprenticeship, or decide to go and live independently of us, which is a decision that he'll, just like any other kid, it's a decision he'll have the option to make at any point he wants to make it, and we want him to be ready to go out there and survive in the world by himself. So school is going to go through some changes over the next couple of months for Andy. I think they're going to be positive changes. Hopefully they'll lead to a lot more positive changes that you'll be able to see here on the channel as well. The long answer to the question of is he going to do GCSEs is maybe one day, certainly not now. And now hopefully, whenever anyone ever asks that question again, if I don't see the question, one of you guys can just say, yes, there is an answer to that question. Go find this video and you'll be able to get your answer and be satisfied, and we won't have to keep answering the will Andy do GCSEs question. Hopefully that's covered that off for you. But I think we are going to wrap today's vlog up there. Andy is upstairs having his bath now. As you saw earlier, he's not been in a very camera-friendly mood today, so I wasn't going to push the issue. Sometimes he'll choose not to be on camera, and that's up to him too, just like the GCSE thing. The more decisions he makes for himself, the better it is for his future. So if he decides to have a day where he's not that into being on camera, he did plenty of camera work over the last few days. He's been performing a lot this week. So if he wants a day off or a couple of days off, that's his decision to make, and he's made that decision today, so I won't press it. And I'll wrap things up here. I think it started raining since I've been sat out in the carriage as well, so it's lovely, isn't it? Got to walk back through the rain to get back into the house. But we will end things there. If you have enjoyed today's vlog, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for more daily vlogs, and thank you very much for watching.